Welcome to Monday Morning Coffee with the Coach on the Spartan Sports Network. And now, here's your host, Walt Fowler.
Thank you, Brad Sarno, voice of the Spartans. And joining us this week is men's ice hockey coach for St. Thomas Aquinas College, Matt Schuster. And Matt, big season we look forward to, but let's start with what happened this past weekend. The alumni game, always a fun game and a good competitive game. So just tell me your thoughts about the atmosphere and the competition.
Yeah, it was very competitive. We were able to win 7-5. It was actually the first time that the Stack team has beaten the alumni, which didn't sit too well with the alumni. They weren't happy about that. And the support and the atmosphere, it's just been really since I was hired 3 years ago, it's just been incredible. The alumni, people like Chris Varman and Mike Fasulo, who is now our goaltending coach, is an alumni, and George Petronella is our strength and conditioning coach as a volunteer, also an alumni. The alumni support financially in every way has been great, and they're even here at this golf outing, the athletics golf outing that we're at, helping with fundraising and donations, raffle prizes. The alumni has been great, but they also play hockey, and so Friday night they came to play, they came to win. And the other thing I wanted to accomplish that night was to get a look at our team and to see different guys in different spots. We changed the line combinations a little bit. We moved some guys from forward to D. We wanted to see, it was our last chance before we begin Friday night, our conference schedule. So we got a lot accomplished. And
we'll get into that as far as the schedule and what lies ahead. As you mentioned, we are at the St. Thomas Aquinas golf outing here at the Paramount Country Club in New City. Let's talk about the alumni game a little more. You mentioned Chris Varman, the alumni, and he had a big game. He had a couple of goals, but in the end, St. Thomas Aquinas wins 7-5 over the alumni team. What was the ebb and flow of the game?
Well, it was interesting. It was sort of the tale of two games because we had two goalies on each side. So the first matchup for the first half of the game, both the alumni goalie, Mike Fasulo, and our starter, Carl Lorenz, shut it out. It was 0-0. Nobody scored. And then we switched goalies. I think the alumni started to get a little tired, and the goals started coming. So it was back and forth, and we got it to 6-4. We were up, came from behind. We were down 3-2 going into the third. And we had another alumni, a real special kid, Ryan Griffin, who graduates actually in December. And he's a special needs kid who played for us for a while. And we took a penalty, and he got a penalty shot, and he was able to score. Yeah, so we love Ryan. He's like our little brother, and he loves hockey and supports the program. So it was a one-goal game right at the end, and we got an empty netter and put it away.
Fantastic, exciting game. Let's talk about your team a little as far as moving forward. What do you see for this season in terms of who you have on the roster and the types of teams you're going to be playing?
So we're still a young team, as you know. We have two sophomore goaltenders, Carl Lorenz, who I mentioned, and PD Gianatiempo. Both came to us as freshmen last year, both back for sophomore second go-around. Our defensive core is led by Sean Benson. Sean's our captain. And he's a sophomore still. I believe he was a transfer, so he might be a junior, but I think he's still a sophomore in terms of his credits. And he's 6'4". He's got a tremendous skating ability. He can shoot the puck. He can move the puck. So we need him in the back end there to help us clear our end. And one of our other alternate captains is back on D, Andrew Rafferty, who is, I believe, our only senior. And then our front line, we've gotten more deep with another year of recruiting. Our second group, really, we can roll 7 or 8 forwards that can all score. And Pat Burns and Dougie Harrison are also alternate captains. So we have 4 captains on the squad, and they were our leading scorers last year. And so we are going to be, I believe, improved top to bottom.
And Harrison, I believe, scored twice, and Burns also scored in the alumni game. And if I'm not mistaken, they both scored in the game. You had one game against Marist prior to the alumni game, so obviously they're showing the offensive power early on.
Absolutely, yeah. We count on Dougie and Pat Burns to help lead our offense and take care of business in the defensive zone as well. And, their center is Zach Tietz, who's a St. Joe's grad. Burnsy is from Pearl River, and Dougie is from Harrison, New York. He played for Rytown. So the local The local flavor is there. And then our second group, we have all three are new players. One of them's a true freshman. And, we are looking at we don't fully have three lines yet. We're still recruiting and building this thing, but we're getting closer to being a fully rostered squad.
Talk about the conference a little, and correct me if I'm wrong. We're talking about the Metropolitan Collegiate Hockey Conference. What's that like? Who are the other teams in the conference?
So the Fordham University, Fordham was the champ last year. They are the returning champs. I think they're going to be very strong again. Hofstra made the playoffs last year. Hofstra University, they were also in the playoffs last year. I believe they've improved as well. They've played a few games already and had a few wins. And Suffolk County Community College is always tough. They bring in kids from Long Island, and Long Island hockey is exploded out there. And Stevens Institute of Technology out of Jersey City, Hoboken area, they are strong, well coached. So our conference is tough, and there's a few other teams. SUNY Maritime College gave us a couple of games last year, very close contests. So we've got our hands full, but I believe with a year under our belt, playing a full conference schedule with some experience, not just from the players but from the coaching staff too, we are more prepared to reach our goal this year, which is to make the playoffs. And once you're in the playoffs, you never know.
That's absolutely. Couldn't have said it better. Obviously, a lot of good hockey in the metropolitan area for a long time, and you go back with Stack a long ways as a player and a coach.
Well, I didn't play at Stack, but I go back with Stack as I've helped out with the men's and women's lacrosse programs as a administrator, a public address announcer, clock operator. So, but I do go back in the area. I coached at North Rockland in the youth program from the late 90s until about 2005, and then I was an assistant coach on the varsity, and the North Rockland program has continued to grow. We were fortunate enough to win the section last year, Section 1 champs, which 10 years ago nobody would have believed. So, yeah, I mean, for me, hockey has been something that I started playing as a teenager, and I, as soon as I began playing hockey, that was the greatest game for me. And being able to coach all these years has been more than I could have ever expected or hoped for. It's been great.
Well, it's a great environment, and a great environment today at the golf outing. Like you say, a lot of support from the alumni hockey players, all who've gone through the program. So just a good job by the alumni supporting the team year after year, and we wish you the best of luck this season.
Thank you, Walt. Thank you for everything you're doing as well.
All right. Thanks, Matt. Good luck. That's it with Coffee with the Coach, with head coach men's ice hockey team for St. Thomas Aquinas College, Matt Schuster. We'll see you next week.